we are going to learn about the TensorFlow. What is TensorFlow? TensorFlow is a learning app which can be used for neural networks, with the help of which we can develop graphs. With the help of that, we can develop so many things, and it is a part of machine learning. So let's begin with TensorFlow. What is TensorFlow? TensorFlow is a Python library for fast neural numerical computing created by Google and released under Apache 2.0 open source license. So we can say that it is a product of which is created by Google and it is released by Apache 2.0. That is, it is an open source license. Libraries like TensorFlow and Tanyo are not simply deep learning libraries. They are libraries for deeper learning. They are actually just number crunching libraries. What does it mean? It means that these are the things with the help of which we can create implementations of numbers. We can create implementations on various numbers, like we have x-axis, we have y-axis. So we can have data interpretation kind of things with the help of TensorFlow. Where it is used, especially good for training and implementing deep neural networks. So we can say that it is used basically for deep neural networks. Example applications like image recognition system, automated translations, think Google Photos, Translate. So these are the environments or an applications where we can use the concept of TensorFlow. This product is being used in the production system at Uber, Snapchat, Google, and so many other kind of industries where we use the thing of TensorFlow in the production system. So we are having two kinds of system. One is test environment, other is production environment. So in the production environment, people use TensorFlow. What is Tensor? TensorFlow can be called as a programming system in which you represent computations as graphs. So we can say that we are having a graphical representation of the things that a graph, we can say that we can add multiplication, we can have addition. So we can have multiple values for a graph. So with the help of TensorFlow, we can do the implementation of that graphical notations. Nodes in the graph are called ops, that is short for operations. Nodes means on that node, we provide the operations, and op takes 0 or more tensors. So we can say that nodes may consist of tensors, perform some computations, and produces 0 or more tensors. So in the TensorFlow terminology, a tensor is a type multi-dimensional arrays. As we all are familiar with the concept of arrays, so we can say that array is a collection of or a group of values of same data type. So we are going to implement the TensorFlow with the help of multi-dimensional arrays. We are going to do the computation of these values. With the help of that, we are going to calculate the values of the multi-dimensional arrays. It is a symbolic mathematical library and also used for machine learning applications such as neural networks. So it is licensed from Apache 2.0. It is open source, freely available. It is developed by Google Brain team. Stable releases are 1.6.0. Initial release on 9th November. It is written in Python, C++, CUDA, and the platforms can be used on Linux, Mac, and Microsoft Windows and Android as well. So we are going to perform this on Windows. How does it work? Uses data flow graphs to represent a learning model comprised of nodes and edges. So as we have already discussed that a graph consists of nodes and edges. So we are going to implement those things with the help of practical, in which we will plot graphs and we will have edges and nodes. Nodes represent mathematical operations. What mathematical operations are going to perform? Like addition, multiplication, subtractions. So these are the mathematical operations which can be performed. Edges represent multidimensional data arrays, means tensors. We can have multidimensional values, and those values we are going to perform the operations on those values. Computations with TensorFlow. Example shows that how can create a session, define constants, and perform computation with those constants using the session. So session is a very, very important term inside the TensorFlow. So we will use session to print the values, and we will have constants like A and B, and we will use the session.run method to run the values. So let's begin with the practical session. So we are done with the practical session. Let's begin with the practical session. So what basically we will do, we will have a PyCharm. With the help of that, we will implement this concept. Let's create a new project. Let's give it name as my sample, and let's create this. Now we are going to create a new project with the help of this. Let's begin with, so our new project is ready, my sample. Let's select this project and we will go on settings. Inside settings, we have project interpreter. So we will just select our my sample project and we will have a particular interpreter here. So I have given it name as my sample. In that my sample project, in that folder, we will have scripts folder, and inside that python.exe file is implemented there. So let's click on OK. Now what we will do is let's create a Python file. Let's give it name as execute. This is a new Python file. Let's import the package here. Import Tensorflow as TF. So the thing is that we don't have the package or library named as Tensorflow. So we need to install that library. What we will do is we will go on settings. Inside settings, we will select the my sample project. So we are having pip, setup tools and wheel options here. So let's import a package here. We will search for Tensorflow here. We will search for Tensorflow. We will select this and click on install package. But the thing is that we must have 64-bit operating system in order to get the work done on TensorFlow. Only 64-bit operating system is implementing the concept of TensorFlow. So if you are using the Python as 32-bit, then it will not work. So you must have Python as 64-bit and your operating system should also be of 64-bit in order to implement the concept of TensorFlow. So it is now installing the TensorFlow package. So the TensorFlow package will be installed for. So as you are able to see that the package TensorFlow has been successfully installed. What else we will install is we will install TensorFlow GPU option because it consists of CPU and GPU operations. So we will install the GPU package also. So let's import the package GPU. We are going to install now. So we have done successful installation of two packages, TensorFlow and TensorFlow GPU. Now what we will do is we have got the libraries related to TensorFlow and TensorFlow GPU. Let's click on OK. Now what we will do, we have imported the package import TensorFlow as TF. Now what we will do, let's create a variable named as hello equals to, we have TF dot, let's have the library TF dot constant. Let's have the library TF dot constant. And here in the constant, we will have a hello world program. Let's say hello, and we are going to implement TensorFlow. So let's begin with hello TensorFlow. Now what we will do is let's have a session. As we have discussed that we will run the program with the help of session. We will do sys is equal to tf dot session, tf dot session. This method we will use, and after that we will use a print statement. In the print statement we will use sesh dot, we can say run method. Inside the run method we will pass here hello. So what we will do is let's save this and we will run. Now the thing is that we have to go on add configurations. Inside the added configurations, we have the Python file named as execute. Let's give here the name as execute, and we will select the Python file from the drop down list. Our project name is my system. No, it's my sample. Inside the my sample, we have this file particular. The file name is, we have execute.py. So we will add that file. So we will select our file execute.py. We will click on OK, apply, and then OK. Now let's execute this. When executing, it is giving that TensorFlow has no attribute session. So let's discuss and let's see where the error has occurred. So what we have done is we have created a variable with which we have tf.constant and we will have sesh tf.session. Here we have to, what we have done previously, we have used here small s, we have to use capital session, and now we have used the print statement to print the output named as hello. We have passed here the variable sesh.run hello, and now what we are going to do, let's run this, and after that we are getting the message as hello TensorFlow. What extra changes we have done here is we have created a project in which we are having different kinds of libraries. So we have Python Pro. In the D drive, we have a folder here as Python Pro, which we have created. Inside the Python Pro, we are having the other libraries. So we have just moved that particular folder of my sample inside this Python Pro. And after that, what we have done is we have done here this capital S. And after that, let's run this. And after running this, we are getting this message as TensorFlow. So this is the first tutorial about the introduction, installation, and about the Hello World program with the help of TensorFlow. So this is the thing we have done now.